Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your guy, Rock Mitchell. Welcome back to another episode of the Social Advice Podcast, where it don't take that long to get right, shorty. I'm excited to be back for another episode. I know it's been a minute. As you guys know, I've been in the creative space for a long time. I've been a creative executive. I've been a shooter. I've been a creative director. I've been like pretty much at every level of this creative journey, and I'm focusing on doing a little bit more of my stuff, focusing on me and what I want to accomplish, because what I found is the kind of creative that I am, I deal really, really well when I understand the purpose, the mission, and the vision of what we want to accomplish as an organization or a unit. But when I don't understand that as much and it becomes just a gig here, gig there, my work is good, but it's not, you can't feel it. And most people, when I do polls or just surveys about what they like the most about my work, it's that whatever rock produces, it feels like you are actually there when it's being produced. Like, it's immersive. It feels like, oh man, I either came to a flash mob or I was on set at that commercial, or when they put those elements together, like I understand it. I'm contextually aware of what's going on. And so that brings me to what I want to talk about today. And I'm going to be bringing more people on. I'm going to bring my brother back on. He's an amazing musician to co-host with me some. But I want to talk about today something that's really important to me, which is today's topic, which is one that I think resonates deeply with many of the creative world, and that's relational versus transactional. And we hear the term all the time, but how does that really play a part, or how does that really work? And more importantly, why do so many creatives, including myself, prefer relational work versus transactional work? So with all of that said, I want to jump right in today's episode of the Social Advice Podcast.
Over all these gimmicks like I'm jumping rope, I done phone it gold. Hit me with a light, I got right back to it. Future looking brighter than a diamond jeweler, and the reason why, cause I put that in my music. It's been like this, it's like Sawyer Way.
All right, so let me first start by just giving you the definition, because some of you may not have heard the term relational versus transactional. And so let me just break it down for you. So for those who are unfamiliar with the term, transactional relationships are pretty straightforward. You know, you provide a service or product and you get paid. The scope is clearly defined, and once it's done, it's done. It's a business exchange. It's not an ongoing thing. It's not a you call me every month. It's not a I'm staying up thinking about what we want to get done. It's more or less just, okay, you call me and you need a service. I come provide that service and I move on. Like going to having I get my cars clean. Good brother comes to the house. He washes all the cars, and then he goes about his business. You know, I'm friendly. I try to be very nice, offer him, water, things of those sorts. He gets me really clean, and he goes about his business. That's transactional. He comes, provides a service, leaves. Now, some people prefer that. They prefer to be transactional. It's a business relationship. However, on the other hand, there's relational work, which involves building a deeper connection. And it's about mutual trust, collaboration, understanding beyond just the task at hand. You're not just a hired hand in that regard. You're a partner in the creative process. And there's often shared vision or goal around it. So how would that look with the car scenario I just gave you? That looks like me and him having a conversation and him sharing with me, or I share with him, this is what I want my cars to always look like, feel like, and I want it ongoing. And he says to me, cool, I'll help you maintain your cars. He's not going to call me and tell me, hey, I'm coming this time. He knows that it needs to be taken care of. And if he comes past the house or he gives me a call and say, hey, I'm on my way, or the car's there, I'll say, nah, I'm out, but the other 2 cars or the other 3 cars are there. And he'll be able to say, oh, okay, cool, I'm about to come take care of them. And I don't have to particularly tweak how he does what he does. He knows that, all right, cool, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to wax him, I'm going to detail him inside, because I feel just as much a sense of responsibility around these cars being maintained than rock does, right? So that's relational, right? So for example, I'll give you another example. I helped to kind of put together a fashion clothing line earlier this year. And so in working on this fashion line, when it was brought to me to kind of creative direct it, I could have just been like, okay, cool, we're going to make some designs up, slap them on some t-shirts and keep it moving. But I didn't do that because I thought that these people had already done that before, and it did not, from my vantage point, it did not get a lot of traction. It didn't get a lot of action. So what I wanted to do was I actually wanted to work with an actual designer. So I called one of my close friends, my homeboys. He's actually my tailor. And I said, bro, I want to bring you in on this, and I want you to be the artistic director around the clothes so you can just design them. And he did an amazing job. He put blood, sweat, and tears. He put the tech packs together. He found the manufacturers. He found all of our vendors. He oversee the actual designs. Like, he killed it. And if I wouldn't have done that, we wouldn't have gotten such a great product. And then from there, we were able to go and actually sit with our manufacturers. We were actually able to go and look and talk to the folks who were making our actual fabrics. We picked out buttons. When we got hats done, we actually went to the printer's warehouse and sat with the owner of the print shop, building relationships. And then, so when things happened that weren't up to our timeline or didn't happen like we wanted to, when you have those relationships, you don't eat all of the cost, right? In certain relationships, certain situations, if it was transactional, it was, hey, you gave us the wrong measurement. This is what we printed out. You're going to have to pay for it. If you want other things, you'll have to, redo it on your side. We had some hiccups, and the owner reached out to us and said, hey, don't worry about it. We're going to take care of it on our side. We're going to order some more stuff from your manufacturer, and we'll have it printed up. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. So what am I saying? I'm saying that when you are relational in the way that you build your business, or you even just work with creatives, you get a lot more. You get a lot more. And the depth of the relationship, it translates into the work, right? The designs are more thoughtful. The photo shoots are more full of soul. And every piece that came out of what we were doing, I thought was just super dope. And so I say all that to say you have transactional and you have relational. If you are not a creative, or you're not someone who operates in that space where you are responsible for the direct outcomes of something that is going into the world, even if you are a transactional person and you just want to do the deal and get it done, it behooves you to become relational, because most creatives need to know that you care enough about your situation that you bring the right person in, and then you care about building a relationship with them so they can give you the best product. Outside of that, it'll be relational, but then what you're going to do, you're just going to call that creative to come and do some work. And then on another gig, you'll just call another creative, and then you'll just call another creative. You're all over the place. Building relationships 9 times out of 10 gets you the best work. However, there are benefits to, or there is an importance, I should say, to transactional work. So there's a time and a place for transactional work. And I think sometimes as creatives, we can almost be snobbish about it. But I've done my fair share of transactional gigs, and let me tell you, they are crucial to your journey, because people are a lot more critical on transactional work. And that it is that criticism, it is that very just straightforward criticism that drives you to get better, and transactional work is, it's often quick and it's to the point, and it can get your bills paid, and it fills your portfolio, and sometimes it opens doors and relationships and other opportunities in other places. And, I'll even admit that some of my best long-term clients started off as transactional. I remember I did a gig for someone I was in a relationship with, and then I met some folks over at Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation, which is a mental health foundation that is founded by Taraji P. Henson. And that became a relationship for me that I thought that was really, really, really beneficial to me. It wasn't something that I was cashing in crazy on, but the relationship was cool because we were working together, and I met some close friends who are doctors, who are very, very smart people who have helped me build my portfolio because they add credibility when I do a lot of documentaries. When I do a documentary, I now have all of these doctors that I met through Boris Lawrence Henson that'll say, Rock, whatever you need, tell me what you need, and I'll add credibility to your documentary by giving insight from a doctoral perspective. And those guys over at Boris Lawrence Henson afforded me that. And so what we were able to do with them over the course of 2 years is help build out we were able to help build out their system and their structure for how they disseminate equitable mental health and mental health services, and how they work with how mental health professionals work in the community. And they're doing some amazing work around that. And I was able to help be a part of that. Me and a few other doctors just banded together. I did all the technical and video and graphic work around that with the help of my guy Fred over at 139, and who I still work with, was a great relation today. He's actually we're going to meet today at my office. So I'm saying that even though you may be it starts off transactional, if you do good work, it turns into a relationship. It turns into a relationship, and it could become one of your best jobs or one of your best clients. And so the thing is, you need to actually balance both, right? Sometimes you need that straightforward, no strings attached project. And sometimes you need that depth of relationship to unlock creativity. And I think there's a midway point there where, for me, I've learned that even because I'm in the executive space when it comes to creativity, where I'm creative, and I can do a lot of things in terms of like getting the creative done, I find myself now being more the guy that facilitates getting the shooter, making sure the edit is what we want it to be, making sure that the creative briefs is how it needs to be, and just overseeing that. And I love that as well. But because I know both sides, I'm able to speak to creatives in a way that they feel like, oh man, Rock understands this, so that I'm a kill it, because I know that the guy that I have to report to that looks at this knows what he's doing, knows how to talk to me, knows how to translate technical terms and all of those things. And so that's going to be super important. Let me give you another example of the work that a lot of people most know me for is black menswear work, which is, if you haven't seen it, it's like the mobs of all the black guys in suits, and we do the lineups and we do all of this, great stuff that people just love, and the women love, and the kids love, and the men show up in the suits, and it's just really great stuff. And initially, I was introduced to the founder of Black Menswear because they were coming to DC, and this was 5 years ago. I've been with Black Menswear for 5 years. It's crazy, right? 5 years. And they called a friend of mine, Odell, and they said, bro, we need some fire shooters up your way. Who do you know? And he said, oh, you got to talk to Rock. You don't come to Baltimore and not talk to Rock. And I was humbled by that, because in no way do I think about myself in that way. People can work with whoever they want to work with. But my friend, said, hey, you got to work with Rock. And so what happened was they called me. I gave them my price, and they were willing to satisfy that price. And we came down to DC, and we shot one podcast. We shot the flash mob, which was about 350 guys or something like that on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. And that was the same weekend that Chadwick Boseman passed away. And what ended up happening was I took initiative, and this will be another podcast around taking initiative and how that will turn into hundreds of thousands of dollars for you if you can have an initiative, right? Initiative will make you money. If you're thinking about the next thing to do, it's initiative, but that'll be another podcast coming. But Chadwick Boseman had died, and we got that news while we were at the flash mob. And so I said, you know what, this is what I want to do. And at the time, we're still in the pandemic. And there are, it's the beginning of the pandemic, and it was 4.5 years ago. And so what ended up happening was the guys over there, Rich Fresh. Shout out to Rich Fresh, one of the best men's clothing designers in the game. He sent 400 masks. He was killing masks really heavy at the time. He spent 400 masks, and all of the brothers had masks on. And we shot this amazing shot. I paired some audio from Chadwick Boseman's speech at, I forget what college it is. It might have been Howard. I'll find the content and just slap it in here. But I synced it up and I did a quick edit that same night. He passed away Saturday, I believe, Friday or Saturday. And that night after we shot, I went back to the hotel and I chopped this up. And that night, Black Menswear went viral. I'm not saying that's the first time they went viral, but that night, off of that content, that idea that I had, I chopped it up. And it went viral. And then the very next, that week, we put out the flash mob. That went viral. And the founder called me and he said, bro, this has got to be a fluke. There's no way that you went viral that quick off of working with us. I'm going to check your email. I'm sending you a ticket to Houston, or either Houston or Dallas. I can't remember. It might have been Dallas. He said, I'm flying you to Dallas. We got another flash mob. Come out, rock with us. Let's see what happens. And we went viral again. And we kept going viral. And every other month for the last 4.5 years, we've gone viral with Black Menswear content. Not just because of my content, but I think it was a strong dedication to relationship, to being close, to meeting every week, to being transparent, to sharing what his vision was, what he wanted it to do, how he wanted it to look and feel, and leaving me to do what it is I do as a creative director, and just bringing me along so I knew his vision. And from there, we gained multiple, just like super success, a lot of collaborations, a lot of business has been done from that perspective of being relational, a transactional turning into relational, that now is at a great point. And shout out to Black Menswear. They are doing great things. They just finished up an amazing partnership with Revolt World down in Atlanta. They have a lot of amazing things. So if you're not following Black Menswear, go and follow those guys. Shout out to them and the work they're doing.
Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. This is your time.
All right, so that's an example of how transactional turns into relational. But let's talk about why creatives prefer relational work. So why do creatives prefer relational work? Here's the truth. It's because we're wired to create, not just execute. And transactional work can feel like you're just going through the motions, checking off a list. It can lack the emotional connection that we need to produce our best work. But when there's a relationship involved, we feel seen, right? And this is the thing. Most creatives are very emotional people. They're tied into their emotions, and a lot of that is they draw their creativity from. And creatives have to feel seen, they have to feel heard, and they have to be understood. And most executives, most boardrooms do not understand to get the best work out of a creative. They have to see, feel, heard, and seen and understood. And if you can't do that, just look for people to do transactional work for you. If you're not looking for a creative partner that is able to be in the room with you and understand your vision and promote you and really take to heart what you're doing, keep them out of the loop. Don't share with them the whys and the whats. Because I guarantee you, most creatives, because of what they have in them and how they are built, they will give you insight that you never thought of at the inception of an idea. These days, I don't work with too many people that I'm not at the table when we're coming up with the idea. I don't want to be a part of it. Don't call me if you just want me to come and shoot and I can't be a part of how the ideation, the production, and the distribution. I just don't like it because I'm more of a businessman these days, and I feel like I want to have some say-so in what it is that I produce. And I get my best work out when I do that. And most creatives do. And I'm not saying that it's always going to be that way. I think in order to be healthy, you have to have a few clients that you are just retained with, or you just have strong relationships with, where they just trust you to control the creative process, and they trust you and they let you do what you do. But there's some is, it's going to be transactional. Hey, shoot me the check. I'll get it done. Cool. And so understand this, executive, understand this business owner, entrepreneur that's hiring a photographer, hiring a graphic artist, hiring a videographer, hiring whatever creative. Even if it's transactional, be kind and understand that person has to create for you. So if they feel like you don't care or like them, they're not going to give you the best work. Just think about that. So there's got to be room for collaboration that makes a world of difference, and it's those spaces where magic happens, where the work transcends beyond just a deliverable and becomes something that you're proud of. I think that we gravitate towards relational projects the most. I know I do. And that's the work for me that matters the most. And because it matters more, I pour more of myself into it. And I get the best results from when there is a relationship between me and those who I am working with. So it's been about 20 minutes. And so in close, I want to leave you with this. To all of my creators, remember, transactional work has its place, but the relationships you build along the way will take your work to new heights. Whether you're designing, writing, filming, producing, finding those clients, those partners who see your value and let you tap into your full creative potential is going to just fill you and fulfill you in a way that just picking up the phone and saying, yes, I'll be there, it's $500 could never. So thanks for rocking with me today. And I'm excited that we are continuing to put out amazing content. If you know someone who could use this content, a young creative, social media influencer, a producer, whoever just needs some insight, something to listen to while they're on the treadmill around their field, pass this along to them. And if you are in need of any type of sponsor ads here on the platform, you can always reach out to us. We'll make sure you have a link or something like that below or in the show description. All right, I'm your guy, Rock Mitchell. This has been the Social Advice Podcast, where it don't take that long to get right, shorty. I'll be back, and be on the lookout for the other podcasts that we produce here at Major Result Co. Appreciate y'all. Oh, yeah. New brand is out. Dream, doubt, do it anyway. I'm excited about this. It's going to be available on my website very, very soon, which is rockmitchell.com. All right, I appreciate y'all.
Is the proof. Loading my tote, I still want all the smoke. We ain't talking about jokes, we just talking about more. I see all of my goals and it's looking like gold. I ain't asking for hope, cause I know that it's show. Now you seeing me blow. This is premeditated, I've been underrated, that's an understatement. I ain't coming later, the abundance came when I align my bosom to the loving greatest. You the one who made it, so I'm in my bag. I died way before I ever raise a white flag. Shooting right back, raise the price tag. Chasing down all of these ghosts to like grab. Who could really stop me is what I ask. Homie, you can never get your time back.